Hey Tim, how we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz, with a VIP downstairs that I can't tell you who it is. I'm wearing red tonight for aggression, and maybe for the next election in the USA. Guys and gals, tonight we've got an exciting, driven comment from Alana that asked what is the day-to-day goings on of someone in the Royal Australian Regiment, an infantry battalion's day-to-day, the 24-hour cycle, the 365 day cycle. And we're going to do that. Got some housekeeping first. Let us know thumbs up. Who's going to be watching the coronation? It's not very often. As a matter of fact, it's been over 70 years since we've had a coronation. It's going to be King Charles. Doesn't matter if you like him or not. He's the next in ascension. Or, okay, William, who I think is going to be a game changer, the changer of the franchise. But we're also going to see that Charles is going to be quite interesting on what he does next. And at the end of the day, we are serving him if we are wearing, bam, no, not that dude, bam, the Skippy badge, the most coveted item in the Australian Army, outside the cavalry badge, which is also earned after completing the ITs, initial employment training. So I'll leave it out there for the moment. So guys and gals, we've got a whole bunch of people at the moment at School of Infantry. This is not about the training continuum at basic training, but we've found out, and we'll get to the everyday business in a moment. And g'day, thank you for being here. I know that everyone has got somewhere where they could be at the moment, but they chose here. Well done. The like button is my G spot. Feel free to press it at least once, twice, 3 times. A lady should be happy. So basically, we found out, thank you, Carl, okay, that the guys made it to the School of Infantry, and basically what occurred was they had to do their BFA. They got a day's reprieve for Anzac Day or whatever. But as you've heard me say before, that the Army is not preparing for those for combat corps at Kapuka with the dropping of standards, without doing fitness tests, without doing swim tests, etc. And then when you get to the School of Infantry, okay, the rubber meets the road. And they found this out because now the people that have made it to the School of Infantry, if you pass the BFA day after Anzac Day, very fitting, then you went over that side. No more to prepare. You're ready to go into session. Those that didn't have now gone into a 6-week mandatory conditioning program where they cannot go into session now. So it's equivalent like a 6-week lead-up training, almost back squad, that you face automatically by not being able to do the run, by not being able to do the push-ups, by not being able to do the sit-ups, by not being able to give your best effort that forces an infantry platoon named after a battle honour to travel at the speed of you, which is at this stage incompetent. So they're learning the hard way. If they had found the channel, they'd done the work, they wouldn't be in that position. Bam. It's an important one for the ladies. The reason why I say that is because they should have to meet the men's standard. There should be no women's standard. As soon as you go for infantry, there should only be one standard, and that is infantry standard. This is the BFA form. I'll let you have a look at that. Female scores at the top, males at the bottom. The one thing that's going to shock you when you go to the run panel is that a 17-year-old girl has as much time as a 46-year-old man, and that is not equal. That means we travel potentially at her speed, and that means that we're setting ourselves up for failure. So until that changes, I don't believe any females should be going to infantry, and I say that to protect you, because otherwise you get dropped into the pot not ready, but there will be no excuses. And I don't want you to get in a position where you regret a volunteer career. I wish that recruiting was a little bit more honest to you, to tell you the truth. Okay, so we've got Simon Powell here, Scotty G, we've got Dave D, hey legends, not me at the moment, legend of the fall, Joshy Fawns, Carl, my grandfather marched to the Queen's coronation. That's it. Now that is a bragging point right there. Let us know what stands out for you on the BFA form here while I'm going through the roll call here. Isaac, somebody's crying. Hey Kaz, here for another stream. Thank you very much, mate. Good to have you here. And good to see that you're a member as well. We've got Max Bigham here. G'day, mate. How you going? 2 thumbs up there, the yellow hands. We've got Garrett. I don't know if I've seen your name in there before, have we, mate? Or with your last name in there too. Big Kaz, not so much, mate. Bit of a disappointment these days. Simon Palaraffi. We've got Leroy, mate. Where is Lauren? I don't know, mate. I don't know. She hasn't been on here for a while now. That's her choice. She's a free citizen. We've got Bravo Charlie with the arse wiped hand there. We've got Peter Mayfield, Packadurry. We've got Carl P. Lauren, yep, she's in Tasmania. That means you're going to need 2 hoods on your sleeping bag in winter for both heads. Okay, I get the joke now. Carl P, Freddie Cars, Brother Powell, and we've got D1, the hardest name to say here, tuning in from RMC. It's been a while, mate, but it's always a pleasure to have you back. Simon Carl, K, fix my pay, do my PFA next week, can't wait. And there's no excuse to ever fail that one, because if you can't pass the PFA, then by rights, you shouldn't be allowed to legally have sex. That's the fact, Jack. We've got 17-year-old guy right now who's ringing from, who's watching from Singo. Yo, Kaz, watching the stream right now. I won't say where he is. I don't want to give away. I never give away my sources. But let's just say he's at the School of Infantry right now saying that he is living the dream from the horse's mouth, and he did pass his fitness test. Good in town, hey Kaz, how's it been going? What are your thoughts on the Defence Strategic Review, canning three quarters of the new IFVs? Now, what to tell you the truth, Jordan, this is going to surprise you, but I don't actually have a problem with it. And I'll tell you why. Because it's not like they've actually taken the money away from spending from defence. What they've done is moved it over to become a strategic, purchase of something that would be more threatening, to the red corn chip and to those in our global waters. So, in our regional strategic space. So I think that they had to make this decision, and I think it was probably the right decision. It won't be the right decision, and I ask myself, if you're in the Royal Australian Regiment right now, and you're from the 1st Battalion, 2nd Battalion, not so much, amphibious group, 3 area, if you're from 5th Battalion, if you're from the 7th or 6th or the 8th, 9th Battalion, and you're thinking, well, what am I going to do for vehicles now? Because the Bushmaster is not an infantry vehicle. The Bushmaster is protected mobility. It is not a fighting vehicle, even with a remote weapon station. So it's going to be interesting to see if they get re-rolled back into light infantry, or whether they train in some way and rotate through the cavalry units again. We'll see. G'day to our cavalry lads out there. Give us our plume back. Live horse. Matty Bragg. G'day, Kaz. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you, sir. Max, haven't been in for quite a while, but definitely good to be back. It is good. In cases, all I need to do is 3, 15, 16, 30. Yeah, it's disgusting, eh? I've always wondered, why did the ADF pick 2.4 as the run distance? Why not 2.5? It's very interesting. Simon, I actually do not know. I don't know. Where are we? Why isn't it 2-mile run, which would make it the 3.2, which is the hardest activity you can do in your webbing and section activity? And you'll learn about that in the School of Infantry as well, guys. Peter Maple, just back from building a homestead on a station in time for stream tonight. Well done. Pete, send me a photo of that if you can, mate. Skulladry. Hey, Kaz, what do you reckon their minimum height to join infantry is? There's not a minimum height. But if you're going to be in a competition of arms, which you will be, short people should go to cavalry. Because if you are tall, then your natural gait is going to mean over a 10-hour patrol per se, you might end up taking 3,000 or 4,000 less steps than someone who is short. And if you actually add that together over a 10-year or 20-year career, then that means you're going to have potentially a lot more leg trauma to your lower limbs than the taller person. Having said that, tall people also have their own dramas, like doing long levers for push-ups, whether it be their shins, whether it be fitting in armoured vehicles, helos, etc. So there you go. Tank Hunter, how do you become a member? You just hit the join, mate, that's near the subscribe button. And just so we're all aware, as we know, team, any donations, any memberships, or any Patreon joining, anything to do with the finance of this channel, every single cent goes to Chanda from India, the father of Hemant and his daughters, prepare them and buy a tuk-tuk for them, and we're well on the way already, thanks to the great people that are the members and also those from Patreon that don't realise you're doing such a good job at the moment, that we're going to definitely at this stage be able to buy him, his tuk-tuk, and be able to give mobility, financial mobility to him and his family in India. This is the channel that makes a difference, team, and so do you. Thank you very much. Leroy, 2.4. I used to love long distance running as a kid. Now I don't think I could run 240 metres. Leroy, maybe you could, maybe you couldn't. It did used to be 5 kilometres. It was the normal standard run. So we didn't complain as we were serving. It went to 2.4, but it did become more of a sprint. Bravo Zulu, says Joshy Fawn. PK, favourite Chewy. Standards dropping too much. They are. I do believe they are. What it's creating, but is definitely a massive divide between infantry or combat corps and support corps. So where it used to feel like it was one army, it's starting to look less and less that way. And Price, how we go, mate? Hey, Kaz, I've been deemed suitable, just waiting for my date now for infantry. Fantastic. This should be what you're after. Let's talk about it in 2 seconds. So the coronation, who's going to be watching that? Thumbs up for that. Okay, fitness cards will be getting sent out this week. But at the moment, we've been completely out of time, etc. Assisting those. Leroy Majors, welcome to the Unwashed. He's already been here for a while. He's the section commander, as you can see. The Navy veteran has found at this stage what looks like a a digger on the streets, and he's forwarded the information there, and I'll go and contact that guy and validate if it's real or not, and then from there I'll see what I can do to assist him as well. And we've got conditioning program, which we've explained that is waiting for all those that turn up to the School of Infantry unprepared, which will bring on to you basically a 6-week, potentially 2 PT session a day, torture chamber. And I tell you now, the PDIs in the School of Infantry, they're not there to be your friend. Okay, they are not there to be your friend. Sorry, I didn't put that on. Just on sharp thoughts on DRS commandos, Kaz. Look, I love it for Army's needs. I don't like it for the soldiers' needs. The reason why I say that, Puka, Singleton, mandatory for someone who's going to be doing the DRS scheme, but you're going to be competing against infantry, that have potentially been in the battalion for several years, operations, have rank, maybe specialists as a sniper, reconnaissance, heavy weapons, mortars, etc. And you're going to feel like you're learning, from drinking out of a hose. Too much information coming in. You might have a field environment injury from Singleton, etc. Going in there, you are going to feel like you are under the pump and may miss a whole bunch of good to know teachings that you would have learnt through marination within the battalion that you're not going to get because you're trying to jump the queue to get the beret faster. It's not always the quickest way to get there. Good for the Army if you make it through. Homer Simpson, transferring over from transport to infantry. Everyone says I'm crazy. Good on you, mate. That is a very rare thing that you see people transfer over to infantry. If you get a chance, Homer, make sure you ask if you can go and do some on-the-job training at an infantry battalion where you get to go over and do that. Meet the guys, maybe go out field with them and learn a little bit more about what is going to be your trade, and you'll win the attitude test there as well and decide what you want to do when you get there. Taj, want to go infantry, but I'm worried not being able to get a job after, since I don't get out with any qualification. By the way, I'm 20. That's rubbish, mate. That goes for almost 100% of people who've been to university. or if you go and get a trade as a carpenter, what qualification you're going to get when you get out other than Jesus' job being a carpenter? It's not going to help you being a truck driver. Don't worry about it, mate. Go there and be infantry. What it does teach you is leadership. Okay, what it teaches you is problem fixing. What it teaches you to do is public speaking. Okay, it teaches you accountability. It teaches you mateship. It teaches you brotherhood. It gives you mission-based outlook. Yeah. A lot of the things that are missing from the modern employee. William Elliott. Okay, this question is 6'3", too tall for infantry. I'm jealous already because I'm 2 centimeters below the average height of what women want to sleep with. 6'3", on the other hand, is exactly what they're after. It's not too tall for infantry, no. Will they try and usher me into another role? No, you'll be fine. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, Willie Elliott, great job. Redman 9, my old grandfather-in-law was a drill instructor from the Malayan emergency, eh? I think he was fitter than anyone I've met at the age of 60 plus. Some people just had it done. Well done on him. I swear the bloke could take a hip injury and intimidate it into healing without visiting a doctor. Not bad. Jade, okay, I'm 19 at the moment. I've been putting off joining the army for a few years. What age is the best to join? Well, mate, Jade, I joined when I was 19. So I think it's a fine age, mate. And the dangers is, if you don't join, then what's going to happen is something's going to get in the way, and then before you know it, you're 36 and asking Kaz, mate, is 36 too old to get in? Do it while you're young, because it never makes sense to do a job and then go and join infantry. It always makes sense to join infantry, get out, and then do whatever you want. Infantry will make you better at everything you go to do afterwards. All right, Yuri. Jaden, what do I recommend you do, actually, mate, is go follow the Patreon link, get on there for the price of a coffee a month, and you and I will have a one-on-one conversation, and then from there we'll talk through all of your hurdles and ask you who's talking in your ear telling you not to do it or can't do it. Because I'll tell you can. It's not a black art. Okay, Kaz, recommend advert for a 19-year-old candidate going for Army pilot. They will make you do that anyway if you actually do well at your testing, mate. Been offered an OSB after the ASP, and I'm tossing up between ADFA and direct entry. Cheers. Yuri, again, the best thing you can do, get on the bat phone, give me a call, sort out a time with me, let's talk it over, and give you the options of A or B, and then you decide from that. Inform. I'll tell you something else, team. Let me tell you this. Open your ears for the moment. Don't look at your phone. Just listen. I had a conversation, I think it was with Doug. Where is he? There he is. I had a conversation with him. And basically when I had a talk to him, I said to him, recruiting is there for Army's needs. They are there to get people into roles that they may or may not be able to fill, calling things priority roles, etc. Their job is to do that. That's what their job is to do, not your needs. Kaz is there to look for your needs. So what I do is I don't look at Army's needs. I look at your needs. I tell you the truth, even if you don't want to hear it. And the best way to hear it is one-on-one, where you don't face embarrassment, where there's black humor, where we have a conversation, where we have a laugh, where we learn a little bit more about you, and then I can form the best response for you that'll give you the best chance of making the right decisions on your first, second, or third course of action. I recommend it. Too tall for Cav, Carl. Better sign those transfer papers. That's right. I think my guest downstairs, I'm going to close the door because I'm probably speaking too loud for him. There you go. Hey, Basie. Mate, you're going to stop doing that, Basie. You're a lunatic. Simon Powell. Yeah, Simon's put the Patreon link there. Guys, when in doubt, there's about 40 positions left in all of Patreon for me, okay, to be filled, that gives you the one-on-one capability to communicate with me on this phone. If you do that, now we tail that conversation for you. I recommend it. I can't say it enough. It breaks my heart when I see the people that are at the School of Infantry, the people that are in the military that have never found our channel, and then they've either quit at Kapuka, or go into something they weren't ready for. Don't drop there. Hey, Kaz, how would it be? Would be too old to join the infantry. Don't drop there. It depends if you're talking Army Reserve or you're talking regular Army. I think you're pushing it if you're over 30 for regular Army, not for Army Reserve. But again, it depends. You might be the standout. You might not be the general individual. And we're not just talking about fitness. We're talking to you about your ability to fit in with others. Lazy, can we get some thumbs up there for all of the new people that have now been dragged in, recruited, the Wagner group that Basie has created out of the subscribers below him? I don't even know how to thank you about doing that, but Basie, give yourself a break for a while, mate. We love it. Can we get some thumbs up there? But and it is very much appreciated. I hope it's appreciated by those that just suddenly gone green because Basie has inducted you into the channel. Well done. Godzilla, love the service you provide, Kaz. Don't see many channels like this. I think I'm the only one, as a matter of fact, that's been here for more than 2 or 3 videos. Godzilla, it's great to have a big god on my side, mate. Thank you. G'day, Kristen. How you going, mate? How's life? Plenty of thumbs up there. There we go. Hitchhikers, watch out for Ivan Malak. Let's get to the subject. Infantry. The 24-hour living in the battalion cycle. So you've got through Kapuka, then been separated from all those that go to support corps, those that go to artillery, those that go to cavalry and engineers, signals, intelligence, etc., MPs. And now you've made it to School of Infantry, where everyone now is going for 343. Everyone. Right. So what's occurred now is you need to meet the standard to be able to get Skippy badge, the coveted badge that you only get after completing the full IT training, not before it, not unless you're an officer. They get it easy. They get it handed to them at the end of RMC, which is wrong. They haven't proved they can do it yet. So this is where you get your green beret. Right? This fits in really well. Look, Mum and Dad and Denny, see our jungle shot there of our Tully recipient, which is actually an American soldier in Vietnam, but I absolutely love the context of that, and he looks like a cool cat. But he could tell a story. I hope he's still alive. If not, you, sir, I say thank you. And I hope you and your friends and your family, cherish your name. And I hope you had children to also continue that name. Jake, spelt wrong. G'day, Kaz. I'm going to the army as a medic. We need them. Is there anything I can do to make myself more competitive or upskill to be considered to work with a 2 Commando or SASR? That will happen by you putting your foot down within your military career, letting you everyone know through the periods where you will have reporting periods. Okay? And then from there, what will occur is you can request that, to be considered for, and not too many people are going to ask for that, so you might well win. Okay, let's get back and have a look at our recipient there. Call him Daryl for now, or Ace. Call him Ace. If you're in here and you're infantry, or you've been infantry, it doesn't matter how long you've been in for. If you've got something you want to put down there, just make sure it's not your actual name if you're serving at the moment. Hey, Kaz, how often do you do field training as an infantry choco? From what I understand, it's mostly shooting, sims, PT, and theory every Tuesday night. The field exercise monthly or annual. Well, you're going to do at least one field X, you'd hope, field X, at least once a month. And that's normally leading to a bigger activity. Yeah, but you're definitely going to do one annual of at least 2 weeks. So there you go. And the reason why there's not more is because you can't get more time off. Because if you could, then you'd be joining regular army, yeah? So you get your Skippy badge. While you're at the battalion, at training, you should be asking, what is the best battalion for the session commander? You'll have people from all of the battalions hopefully being represented. Ask them to tell you why the battalion they're talking about is the best. And then from there, what I recommend you do is start to formulate, where do you want your life to be? If If you're not very good looking, don't go to Darwin. You'll be competing with the girls during the 24-hour cycle where you're supposed to woo the women with Marines. You got no chance. Okay? You got no chance. Semper Fi, because they will come across, that's their motto, because they will come across as celebrities on Australian soil, and girls in Australia, for some reason, love celebrities. Go to Townsville. That's the best way to start. There's 3 battalions there. Cost of living is lower there, and you can still buy a house in today's society there. And it's also 15 minutes across the city. When you get to the battalion, you've got to consider that you are going to be a lid, we call it, which is the new guy. For at least 1 year, it's meant to be. But it can also be as soon as other people have come after you, especially if you prove yourself to be a solid character, finished everything you start. AIRN, which is individual readiness, which again comes back to your ability to not only pass your BFAs, okay, but also your ability to be a contributor, a solid contributor, to be in the top 50% of your platoon, or one of the scariest motherfuckers on the block. There's some of the ways around it. Okay, so lean in hard. Do not be put off with the fact that you get called a lid. It is a badge of honour. The best thing you can do is put a carton over the bar when you first get there, and that's not because you owe a tax to the platoon, but what it means is those of the platoon will now have a beer out of that, and they're going to feel obliged to share it with you, get to know you, and not look at you like you're a number. That's what happened. The guy downstairs, was there when I first turned up for the 2nd 4th Battalion in 1992, and he accepted a beer from my carton and was one of the people that helped me to chug down the beers, to say, okay, you're one of us now. But then I had to prove myself to him by carrying the gun in Tully, or finishing the exercises, the 40 clickers, not falling out, doing PT, performing at a higher standard. So you're going to be a lid. So in the first year, don't expect to be getting promoted. Don't expect to be doing a course, a specialist course, which will be something like reconnaissance, something like snipers, something like a direct fire support weapon, something like mortars, pioneers, signals, etc. Unless something's occurred and they're desperate for people to fulfill those roles. So when you get to the battalion, what I recommend you do is you have the opportunity to do as much PT as possible to try and become the fittest you can possibly be, especially in the context of the BFA. Because after you've beaten someone in the BFA and you've finished all your field and you can carry your pack, carry your weapon, no one's ever have to support you, all of a sudden you're in the same current as them, you're going to fit in. In the first 3 months, you shouldn't miss any piss-ups that any of the soldiers invite you to or the platoon has. Turn up to all of them, even if you've got a missus, even if you've got a wife, even if you've got kids. You have to marry that platoon to fit in. It doesn't mean you have to drink to turn up. Okay, when you're in the battalion, it's a 24-hour cycle. Even though you might be living in or you might be living off barracks, you'll turn up at 7:20 in the morning. Platoon sergeant will call the roll. The people that have stuffed up overnight or have a girl in their closet that they're trying to pretend isn't there, might be there talking to platoon sergeant early to give him the heads up of what's going on. The scandal might have happened in the last 12 hours. And then you'll be told to go away to session commanders and do PT. When you come back, be prepared to go and get into the dress of the day, which could be marching order, it could be patrol order, battle, fighting order, or it could be just dress of the day being cams and slouch hat, not beret. And that'll make sense when you get to town because it's so goddamn hot. Everything you do in the battalion while you're not out bush is preparing for the next bush cycle. Although we have a calendar year, and also the financial year, you only ever have to worry about the calendar year. You know that when you come back in January, normally around 16th of January from leave, you're going to have a week of mandatory lessons, suicide awareness. You're going to have financial lessons. You're going to have administration lessons. You're going to have standard operating procedure lessons, standing orders. You're going to have all sorts of heat awareness lesson. All of these things are going to occur, and there's going to be a BFA somewhere in there as well to make sure that you're fit enough to have your AIRN, your readiness badge, which will be on this side of your polyester uniform, not that side. On the left is where your medals go. Unless you count the pubs of Adelaide. I'm not sure what that was about, Jordan. If you stay in a battalion for a long time and do well, you can become a section commander within a few years after your IETs. A lot more hands on that an officer role. Okay, so fighting off those single mums, you will be if you're in South Australia. You know, you can put a stick in your own spokes by failing the BFA, by getting fat, you know, by not hanging out with the platoon, by being an individual, you know, by insubordination, by thinking you're bigger than the group, by being the slowest in the group. Even if you finish everything, if you're the slowest, you will be the runt of the group, and you'll pay for it in some way or another. It's not bullying. Okay? It's motivating you to do more, do better, or get out. Okay? So these infantry battalions based out in Holsworthy, no, only 2 commando, mate. Let's not get fat. Don't get fat. No one wants the fatty, but there's always one. Because we're going to travel at your speed, and that's not good, right? Okay, but even if you're fat, you can be better than the person who doesn't finish things at all. That's for sure. You got to carry your own shit. You don't drink anyone else's water. You don't carry anyone else's water. That's a big thing. You don't carry anyone else's ammo. You've got to carry your own equipment. You don't get a choice whether you carry the gun. You've got to be prepared to carry the gun, males or females. Females, I don't recommend. Remember that. It's not because, you know, I find anything wrong with you. It's because I haven't seen one pass the job legitimately yet. And I don't want you, because I've got a daughter, I don't want you putting yourself in a position where someone said you can when you can't. There's a lot of differences between males and females. And I don't want to see you in a position someone else has made a fugazi comment to you that you listen to that set you up for hurt. If it wasn't the case, then they wouldn't have 2 separate sets of standards for males and females, and fitness is not the only reason, team. Sir Octopus, what's the most desirable infantry battalion? I reckon it's 1, 2, or 3. A lot of people that have got family in Brisbane, you won't even be able to talk them out of going for 6 hour or 8, 9. They're both fine battalions, but you know, the answer to your question is 1, 2, or 3. Are officers deployed and do they go field and get their hands dirty? Yes, they do. For example, an engineering officer, yes, they do. What are the timings for a common day in infantry? That's a great one, Jaden. So, like I said before, 7:20 is your first timing in the morning unless told otherwise. And then your job is to get knocked off as soon as you can in the day. Now, you're doing something wrong, still there after 3. Now, 2 o'clock, 2:30, you should be starting to say, can I go and do some extra PT, maybe at the swimming pool, especially in summer. So that's the normal day. Outfield, it is 24 hours a day. There is no guaranteed sleep. Remember, a lot of activities that infantry do, walking from 5 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, that's not class PT. That's just your job. You can't pull out. You can't back out. You can't put your pack down. You can fall down, but then you're going to get an administrational warning potentially, and it's going to come up in your platoon commander's notebook you get every month that you're unreliable and can't carry your own equipment because you're weak. Okay? If there's too many of you go down, then they're going to be looking at the platoon commander going, what the hell happened? Remember, you carry the least in the entire platoon. Were you pushing your men too hard in accordance with the wet bulb, the heat and work tables that are govern our labour, so to speak? But everything we do at the start of the calendar year goes from individual skills, sometimes combination with section skills, section of 8 men, and then goes to platoon, which is 3 sections. Now platoon sergeant, platoon commander are brought into the fold. Okay, then it goes up to company, which has got the major, it's got the CSM, and then it's got 3 platoons that each have a platoon commander, platoon sergeant, SIG, and 3 section commanders. Then it goes up to the battalion, which these days is more or less 3 companies undermanned at this stage. It used to be 4. they're down the numbers and they've left it that way, and I don't know why. Hey, James. Hey, Kaz. Can we chat tomorrow? It's James. Assessment day is coming up on the 15th of May, and I'm getting real nervous. Make sure that you send me a message, okay? And absolutely, I guarantee we can talk tomorrow. Do that. Jordan Towner. And can we get some thank you there? That's $8 going to India. You might have bought a wheel nut for the tuk-tuk. Thank you, sir. Carl Simon was speaking to, you remember. Okay, some of the things we're going to be doing, team, there is close country training, which is the jungle, which you can see behind these guys. Okay, you're allowed to smoke in the jungle, but his webbing should be on. He shouldn't be in a t-shirt. I don't know what's going on there. Letting everyone know where you are. Okay, there's going to be open country. A lot of that in Townsville, especially up on the plateau. Right, there's also close country with blue water, okay, which is around the Bloomer area, as well as Tully. I'll say it again, Tully. It's in the fright and the meaning. Okay, there's urban environments. Some of those are in the high range training facility, but that can be done almost anywhere. But then there's naval, then there's exchanges, etc. There's talisman savers. Now there's the big activities that are done as combined arms, where you might feel as infantry like, why am I going from a helo into an armoured vehicle and then walking for 2 days straight, dominating some high features, then getting picked up and put on a naval vessel, and then landing somewhere like Cowley Beach, wading ashore in waist-deep water, salt water, where there's crocs and irukandji. Why is all this happening? I feel like I'm not getting anything out of this. Well, that's right. Your job is not to get something out of it. This is your job. Okay, your name is made on these field X's, and everything is designed to get you ready for the day we break the glass and you're deployed. You don't get much warning. You don't get much warning for your Afghanistans, for your Iraqs, okay, for your Timors, for your Somalias, for your Rwandas, for your Cambodias, okay, for your Afghanistans, for your Vietnams. What happens is the news starts to say there's something happening, and all of a sudden we have an MEL, mission event book, starts to prepare us for that nature of combat, and then also for the 4 phases of war, which is the advance, the attack, the defense, and then the withdrawal. These phases can go forever. 20 years for America and Afghanistan. Astro, g'day mate, how you going, mate? Carl P, sure, the peanut there. Okay, Leroy, water running is better than the bike to gain your strength. Helps and cardio back. Once you've done that, transfer to the bike. Yeah, I reckon the bike's better personally, mate. Work those major muscle groups till you vomit. Rollzilla. Okay, I was just wondering right now, what would infantry actually do right now as Afghanistan was evacuated? We're preparing for the next fight, mate. Remember, the Australian the role of the infantry to seek out and close the enemy, to kill or capture him, to seize and hold ground by day or night, regardless of season, weather, or terrain. So our job is to prepare for war, conventional war. 365 days a year. You go, well, what about the times when we're just resting? Well, guess what? When we're resting, we're recovering. That's what it was designed to do. And administrationally, getting ourselves ready as well. Having some time with mum and the kids, or making kids with mum to continue our seed, our offspring, if something was to happen to us. Hey, Mark, how you going, mate? Is the voice of the people. Okay, well done there, Sergeant. Every support company role, Dave D, every support company role, surely they don't have positions for part-time recon and sniper roles. If they had them, Jordan, they would come normally from, okay, people that have got out of the regular army and gone to those locations. Part-time sniper, there you go. Jordan, at the moment, each battalion is taking one of the support roles. One unit has mortars, one has DFSW, one has recon. I don't even know what's going on there. There's some harebrained shit that doesn't make sense. Yep. Okay, it's been a minute. Mark Zamp, it has been a while, mate. MZ. But you know what? Your name still is clear in my mind as the last girl that said no to me. So there we go. Guys, so your training, watch all the pregnant women walking around after their partners have left on deployment. Very, very true. It's hard to explain to people that you're going to go to places like those countries, like you can see in the background here. We're going to train in all manners of training continuum. We're going to go from the smallest autonomous group, being the fire team, all the way up to that with the battalion, brigade, Australian Army, combat teams. And everything is to train the logistics, to train the officers in how to wheel this around quickly, efficiently, how to prepare for the didn't expect that to happen, to make the mistakes in training so you don't make it in the big game itself. No one guarantees anything's going to happen during your tenure, but there's something waiting over the horizon. We don't know what it is that's waiting. It could be Sudan. We could be going back to Africa. Could be going to Asia. At the moment, we've got soldiers working for the Philippines, for the Marines. We've got people from England always coming out, people from New Zealand. I believe we need to, accept it would hurt them, to have a battalion swapped out, with 2nd, 1st Battalion, for example. I wish they could bring their families over and they could do the tenure with their entire rifle company and be attached to the 2nd Battalion or the 1st Battalion or the 3rd Battalion. It'd give money to the rural location. It would strengthen the bond and the brotherhood between the Anzac that's happened in the past. But unfortunately, it would take money away from not Ukraine. We shouldn't be going anywhere near it. Okay, and it would take away his money from potentially New Zealand, which we can't afford to take off them from their small towns, either like Burnham. Okay, Jaden. Okay, so what are some exercises that are a must do to prepare for the BFA? All calisthenics, mate. Get out there, do your running, do chin-ups, do dips, do push-ups, do planking. Okay, do sit-ups. Okay, it won't be hard for you, mate. Once you're actually in the battalion, unless you're injured and you're allowed to be injured, you won't have a hard time at all. You won't. Because you're doing PT every day. So unless you pull the backboard through injury, etc. Now remember, men can't get pregnant under any circumstance, biological men. So you won't really have an excuse. You've got PDIs, you've got Olympic gyms and pools, you've got all the facilities for free to help you, regardless of what is going on. As long as you keep your attitude in check, and remember, the boss doesn't need to be your friend, but he does need to report on you. Something we're hearing more and more of. There's a lot of people that aren't getting their platoon commander notebooks at all, whether it be in training or whether it be in their units. It is mandatory that they are to write those reports on you. Okay, there's another question. You take part of military exercises like Balakan 23. Look, we always did, but they had different names. Whether it be Gold Eagle with the Marines, whether it be Talisman Sabre, whether it be bloody kangaroo exercises. The names change, mate. The names change, and they're fantastic, and you'll always look back on them. Where is he? Simon Powell will be able to tell you about the kangaroo exercises as well. Jody Stevens from the USA. G'day, just checking in. Jody, so exciting to tell you at the moment that we are well on track to buy the tuk-tuk, the taxi for the Indian guy, change his life and get his daughters married over in India. And that's because of lovely people like you in our group with Patreon. So thank you very much, USA Jody. Those that don't know, Jody's a Gold Star mother from the USA, which means she's lost her son. God bless him. James Meredith Hupp, he lost his life the same day as we lost Ian Turner, one of our Special Forces brothers. Um, it's bonded us. You know, she's lovely. Her husband, Matty, fantastic guy, great friends of Ed Bennett, you know, and Chantel and Eddie B4. So can we get some thumbs up for Jody? She's a keeper. You know, she's one of our best friends on the channel. You know, lovely, fantastic news. It is, mate. It is. It makes me happy. By girly parts, I'd be as wet as a monsoon. You know, there's someone for you to perv at, Jody. Ma'am. Okay. Oops. Rid of that for you. There we go. Take your pick. We've got Prince Harry there if you've done some push-ups. Righto. And what looks like Gav Whiteside beside him. Matty's 65 today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear grey ghost Matty. Happy birthday to you. Hip hooray. Hip hooray. 65, well done. Not that much older than me, mate. Great to know you're good and you are keepers. Thank you, sir. USA. Hopefully some common sense comes over there, and Jody, it's killing me to see the actual innocent people that are going to suffer from the Walmarts closing down due to the uncivilized behavior of those in their cities, especially Chicago. I believe they've lost 5 Walmarts now. It's tragic to watch. It really is. Philmon Winter. G'day, Kaz. I've always wanted to become a medic, and I've decided when I should go for my assessment day, but I'm worried that I'll get told off that I'm immature and too young. I'm 17, almost 18. Mate, what I recommend to you, you're going to need the help on this one, sir, is get on the bat phone, follow the link, get in touch with me. We'll have a conversation. I wouldn't be able to talk to you if you're 16, but nearly 18, I can do that. We'll have a good talk about medic. We'll have a good talk about options. You know, and you're in an excellent position where time is on your side, and at the same time, you can also use civilian medical, paramedicine as a backdrop if you can't make it in the military. You're in a good position. No, I love paramedics. They're angels on our streets. Infantry, PT, is a big deal. Normally at least 1 hour a day, at least. Sometimes we're sitting around on rocks. There's no excuse for that because there's always training and fun and tomfoolery to be had. As a section commander, I always used to take my soldiers away, and I used the canteen that was on base as our office. We'd go over there so you could be eating some chicken wings at the same time that we're actually learning and talking over how we do our SOPs, etc. You know, and that also maintains morale. Commanders should be competitive. You're always being assessed in infantry, just like you are in commandos, just like you are in SASR. You're always under the microscope. But the sky is the limit. You can prepare yourself for special forces. You can prepare yourself for support company courses. You can prepare yourself for promotion. It's excellent. It's a lifestyle. What you do with the group at work, you're with the same guys after hours, cruising around, chasing the girls, training in the gym, you know, eating the great foods, competing and laughing and drinking coffee on foreshore, going on holidays together, ending up in Thailand or Bali on school holidays, which are also the army holidays. Okay, on road trips, go down to the Whitsundays, Kelly Beach, fantastic. You won't really be able to delineate the difference between being at work and then being knocked off, because if you hang around exactly the same people, they will be your brothers. You're going to love it. So I've been in the footy team perpetually, off season, on season, all year, 24 hours a day, swapping girlfriends, making stories. Okay, I've been watching you for a couple of weeks now. I've got my assessment day on Wednesday for infantry. Jack, have we spoken yet? If not, there should be a few positions left. Again, verbatim, the bat phone is here for you. What you do in your time to give yourself the best shot comes down to simply getting on there and allowing me to be there for your needs instead of DFR for Army's needs. Let me tell you the truth from someone that did the job for 24 years operationally and also domestically. Okay, so if you remember last week, I mentioned my relative who was killed in World War One. My dad and I managed to track down his name. His name was James Dell Caldwell. I had a soldier named Caldwell in my platoon, in my section. He was one of my soldiers. He was with the 55th Battalion, Australian Imperial Forces, and was, I'm not sure, he must have run out of letters there. Okay, mate, to James Dell Caldwell. They shall grow not old, as we to the left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. And at the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember. So he died. I bet his face was to the foe. His name was James Dell Caldwell. I'll never know if you did it, team, but if you're watching, say his name out loud now, and then it's like you're reaching out to him in the grave to say it wasn't in vain, and thank you for your sacrifice, mate. Because I've got a daughter because of the sacrifices that have been made by those that fell so that we could live in the world we have today. And regardless of what's happened, what feels like our country is in a hangover state at the moment since the COVID situation, thank you, cough, you know, we are still living in an amazing country. So amazing. We just need our politicians to remember that and ask our politicians, when was the last time you did something for the people and for the country instead of your career? Because you don't see them really doing anything for the people. Yeah. So octopus, closing the coal-fire plants, bringing in 700,000 immigrants over the next 2 years. What the fuck is going on? We're going to water down our country until you're not even going to be able to recognise who would fight for our country or not. Patriotism is becoming dirty. Today there was a lady in Coles, and she had the Torres Strait Islander flag on her name tag and the Aboriginal flag but no Australian flag, going, what is happening? There is nothing wrong with our Australian flag, and you should be proud of it. If you can't represent the Australian flag on there, the other two shouldn't be allowed to be worn either. We're all in this country. We're Australian. That's what we are. Stop dividing us. Killed 2nd of April 1917 in France. His tombstone reads, he hath done what he could. True, mate. Lest we forget, Guardian. Great men that could have been the best men. We lost them. Just like Anne Frank. Okay? You read her diary. The beauty that we lost in this world. No one had it good. William Elliott, bro, I can't wait. Don't have a date set up yet, but we'll be joining this year. Yep, take your time, William Elliott, and do it properly. Get it done. And I hope you have 24 years like I did. The same stint, same amount of time as what Roman auxiliary would have had to serve 2,000 years ago before they were given a bunch of people to work for free. There's a special name for those people. Okay, where women, said yes to you and I could identify you as a good man, regardless of the fact that you were only 178 centimetres and were infantry. I'm talking about myself here. Hit me with your best shot, fire away. Joshy Fawns, bit of Pat Benatar there. William Elliott, lest we forget. Thanks, team, lest we forget. That's it. Lest we forget. And that is also extended not just to the Anzac, it's also to our US coalition forces that keep losing their lives for politics. It's about those that we fought against that are now friends and we could walk on each other's soil with no dramas. It's true, Josh. Great men that could have been the best men. That's powerful. I'll use that in the future. Guardian, should be a t-shirt, shouldn't it? Kaz, Nicole's 158 centimetres. Biggest obstacle, Nicole, I've ever had was doggy style with a taller woman. It's almost impossible. That's why guys don't date tall girls. Shorter, easy. No dramas. Cross the river. Keep your head dry. Taller women, don't do it. That's why you don't see infantrymen dating netballers. Possible. Get the job done. Taller than Kaz. No, piss off, Carl. You're almost disabled how tall you are, mate. Last time I checked, getting your beret stuck in the bloody ceiling fan. Isaac, somebody's crying. Last time I checked, I was 185 centimetres tall. 185. I've lost a couple of centimetres because of my pack. 185. You're almost about the height the girls are looking for, Isaac. You could do a little bit taller. Mr. Cole, did they allow little people in the Australian Army? Only if their feet weren't too thick. No hobbits. Hit the like button. That's my G-spot. Guys, we're at the 55-minute mark. Is there any questions? Hey, Kaz, what do you think the future of infantry will look like? Equipment, fitness, standards. I think at the moment they need to stop their standards dropping, and we know that's why. It's to meet gender quota. They need to stop that shit. They need to nip it in the bud right now. And I'd be willing to talk to people on that at the highest level. You know, HR should be governed by those that are speaking honestly. It's not about feelings. The future, I think, we're going to be smaller teams of infantry. Okay, but what I think is going to be like raiding teams, like Finland have got. 198 centimetres. Jesus, Jake. Streaming schedule at the moment, mate, has been Mondays only because Friday is your footy. Okay, but if you want another day, we can do another day. I've got a house inspection on Wednesday. You know, I'm never going to pass that. They need to expand. Josh, it is a bigger deal that they have the aviation and the naval assets to scare the red corn chip. And when it comes time to ramp up our military, we have to do it in the right way. Otherwise, we'll be in the same trap as Russia. Big army, militia. Got to be careful of that. Right? A couple of times a year, Russia conscripts 110 or 130,000 troops. So they've got the boots on the ground, but they're not necessarily there by choice. You know, I believe I'll do a video for you in the next couple of days. One, weapons should be allowed to come back. To who? Those that have done their national service. And we'll have a good talk about that, and I can't wait to see what your points are, because some people get very triggered when it comes to weapons. They don't hear qualified to carry a weapon. Not the civilian carrying the AR-15 or equivalent, despite the fact that the pistol takes out more people than anyone. UK, it's all happening by the knife. We're not going to get rid of the knife, are we? Okay. As a matter of fact, 100 times more people get taken out by abortion. We're not going to talk about that either. I got my 5 kilometre time down to 22:36. Okay, that would have passed 30 years ago. Yeah, so it would pass now if we were still doing it. By the end of the year, I aim to be doing it sub 20. Okay, it's hard, but it's achievable. 2.4 time, I aim for 8:30. That's fantastic. I reckon it's achievable. 8:44 was my best time, but it's not because I was a good runner. It's because I just tried my goddamn hardest and then vomited afterwards. You're wrong. Bunnies for the win this year. Maybe. But do you ever truly win when you're in South Sydney? I'm looking forward to the games. Getting played in America. William Elliott, Kaz, I will subscribe to your Patreon and hope to get in contact with you until my get in contact your Lisbon day. Need the coaching and only one thinking of joining and don't have the support around me at the moment. William Elliott, it'll be an absolute pleasure to hear your thoughts, to make you laugh, for me to laugh in return and learn from each other. Absolutely. Great time, says Carl P. Doopity-doo. I don't know what that's for. Kaz, with respect, I'm against national service. Well, Simon Powell, you're too old to serve. The reason why I say national service, Simon, it'd be great to have a debate with you, but I'd do it once you see what my thoughts on it are. It would be, what do you call it? It would be voluntary at first, and what that would do is capture people that don't know what they're going to do. It wouldn't put them into the regular army. They wouldn't go overseas. Now, but what it would do is give them all the skills to be great Australians, to get mateship, to build up resilience, stoicism, teamwork, confidence, to make them employable, to give them a certificate where it says honourable service completed. Maybe even gives them a national service medal that they can wear on the left of their chest, which is carried like an emblazoned ball of fire and pride, that every Anzac Day and Remembrance Day suddenly made them someone in the absence of being no one, in their mind at least, or in the eyes of their family or those that give them service. National service is a lot better than someone being on a perpetual, lifelong gap year because they had no support in their family, no male role models, or any hope they could achieve anything because they got told the whole time through school they'd amount to nothing. National service, curb all of that, and it would definitely curb drug use, alcohol abuse, homelessness. It would. Now, we haven't had that conversation yet, so you probably haven't seen what my slant or what my expectations of it would be, Simon. And I would love to see what your thoughts are, why you wouldn't be for it, because we're just going to end up with chaos if we keep going the way we go. Absolutely. And people can't even tell you what a woman is. It's a good idea, but not if it requires resources to be taken from other parts. No, it would be completely separate to the Defence Force. Invest in the ADF as it is. Why would you want to force people to serve? Not force anyone, James. It'd be, we haven't spoken about this one. This would be a volunteer thing that people can do in the absence of knowing what they're going to do. Okay? That's all. Don't force people for the sake of it unless they're doing nothing, because that would be similar to a social credit score. Is the social credit score good or is it bad? Should someone that gives nothing to the country be allowed to eat off the table or be able to communicate? They can eat off the table. Should they have a voice of what the food is that's being eaten? That's a very interesting topic. And I think what's going to happen is I'm going to pick someone, or you let me know in the comments after this, because it won't show up in the comments below this video until you do it after it's uploaded. Let me know, either as a member or let me know on Patreon, would you be ready to be the person that I talk to about the good, the bad, and the ugly of national service in Australia? And is it something we can't afford not to do? Interesting. I care what you think. Care what you think. James Martin, invest in the ADF as it is. Why would you want to force people to serve and waste money on people that will leave? Because they can be called up on for mobilisation, and also it invests in Australian citizens. And imagine what it does for immigrants that come to Australia, and instead of having to do 4 years, they can do a year's mandatory service as long as they can speak English, and then become a very proud slouch hat wearing Australian soldier, a digger, with a turban, necessary. That's the way to do it. Get your money for nothing and your chicks for free. Never get that. What's a good pace for a stomp, mate? Be careful about walking with weight, Jordan. Be careful with it. Because if you do, you may do damage to your lower limbs before required. Wait till you get there. We'll graduate the training for you. You'll be fine, mate. That out the way, 24 hours in the life of an infantry soldier in the battalion. It's not over when you go home. If the fat lady sings, just tell her, okay, yep, encore, and you keep going. Finish everything you start and use your hand, bare hand, go to help your mate up. Don't carry his water, don't carry his weapon. Let's do it together. National service does not have to be military. I'd love to see people go through Kapuka similar to reserves, short Kapuka courses, no Rosso, just basic discipline. Do right that, man. Do right. Press the like button. Thank you very much. Jody, respect to you in the USA. See you later. And that's Kaz. Going to wash his balls. See you later. Chat to the Northern Parrot. There we go. 1 hour, 3 minutes. Simon, you're right. Thank you, guys. See ya. All the best to your mum. Judy first. Oops. Yeah, it's about. You back. Judy first.